This is the prep packet video for Unit 3, Chapter 8.3. This is the first video for objective number 3. In this objective, we're taking a look at slightly more complicated complex fractions. Before, we looked at a straight basic fraction. Now we're looking at something a little more complicated. You have two basic choices on how to simplify this, and I'm going to show you the first method in this video. Basically, what you have is two fractions here. Whoops, I shouldn't have done that. You have two fractions here, sorry about that are in the numerator, and you have two fractions here which are in the denominator. What you have to do first is find the common denominator in the numerator, which will end up here in this phase. Common denominator, then do the work. Then you find the common denominator and do the work in the denominator, and you'll end up with this. Once you get to this stage, you're back to where we were in the original video. You just have to unstack them, then stay, change, flip, and you get your basic simplified fraction. So again, the new thing here is to find the common denominator for the numerator. You know what that says. Numerator, and do the same for the denominator. And then proceed. So let's take a look at one after you finish copying that. So make sure you pause and copy. Okay, let's take a look at this problem. This is number 3 in your packet. And we're going to use method number 1 to rewrite this complex fraction. So let's deal with the numerator first. And I'm going to find the common denominator for that. So that would be 15. So my new setup is this. 3 goes into 15 5 times. To bump it up, I'm going to multiply that by 5 over 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10. And I'm adding these. Same thing here. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. I can combine those, and I'm going to have 19 over 15. Now let's take a look at the denominator. Here, this is the same as 2 over 1, remember? And my least common denominator is 5. 1 goes into 5. 1 goes into 5 times, and I multiply that by 5, and I get 10. And this is already set up, so I can leave it alone. So I'm going to do the work. 10 minus 4 is 6, so I'll end up with 6 over 5. From here, I can go and do what I know how to do. 19 over 15 divided by 6 over 5 is the same as 19 over 15 times 5 over 6. So let's do some canceling. 5 goes into that 1 time, 5 goes into that 3 times. And now I'm just going to go across. 19 times 1 is 19. 3 times 6 is 18. So the simplified version of my original complex fraction is 19 over 18. You don't need to turn that into a mixed number. It's actually easier if you leave it as an improper fraction. So go ahead and copy that, and we'll work on the next one. So in this one, it's the same idea. I have to find common denominators. The top part, the numerator, is pretty much done. So I have to deal with the denominator. So I'm going to carry the numerator over. So 3 over a squared b to the third. And here the common denominator would be a b, right? So a goes into that b times. So I'll have, actually, let me skip a step. I'm going to go back and do it this way. AB minus AB. Okay, A goes into AB, B times, so I'll have 2B here. B goes into AB A times, so A to the first times A to the second is A to the third. And now, let's see if I can do any math. I'm going to leave the top one alone. And the bottom one, I'm going to write a little differently. I'm not going to actually do any math, but that's the same as 2b minus a to the third all over ab. Just a lot simpler. So then we're going to move over, and I'm going to have my original numerator divided by my new and improved denominator. Then I'm going to turn it into a multiplication problem, so that stays the same. And then I multiply by the reciprocal. So let's see, we can do some canceling because there's nothing to go that way, but a goes into a squared once and leaves behind a. B goes into b to the, transcription problem, b to the third and leaves behind b to the second. So my new version, 3 times 1 times 1 is 3. A, and then on the numerator I'll have a b to the second. And nothing happened with this, so it just stayed the same. And I can't factor anything out, even though I'd love to, I can't. So that's our new problem. So let's take a look and review what we did. I started out, I was able to leave this the same all the way through, except for I copied it wrong, but we fixed that. And this I turned into, I made common denominators here, and I got this, right? So up here, I ended up with the original numerator divided by the cleaned up denominator. I multiplied it, and I came up with a new simplified version. So go ahead and stop and copy on that, and I'll see you in the next video.